Hi there, and welcome back to Blue Ocean English. Today we're continuing our series on phrasal verbs. This is the third lesson, and we're going to look at phrasal verbs with the letter C. So let's get started. We'll begin with call around. So to call around means to telephone many people or many places. This is a bit like ask around from the first video. Ask around means to ask many people the same question. Here it's the same thing but using the telephone. So the first example, I called around all the restaurants but they are all full. So I called many different restaurants. The second example, when I get back from holiday, I will call around and see if I can get an appointment to cut my hair. So I will call lots of different hairdressers. And the final example, I called around every shop in town. None of them had the items you need. So I called many different shops. The second phrasal verb is to call back, which means to return a phone call. So somebody calls you, you can't take the call, and you call back later. The first example, don't worry, I will call her back straight away. So I will return the call. The second example, I will call David back after the meeting. It's not important. So first I will have the meeting, then I will call David. And the last example, don't call me back. If you get home late, I will be in bed. So you don't need to call me later. The next example is calm down. Calm down is to become or to help someone become calm or less upset. So the first example, doing yoga is a great way for me to calm down and think about myself. So it helps me to be calm and relaxed. The second example, I wish you would calm down and not be so angry. So I wish you would relax. And the third example, I always have to calm him down. He gets angry a lot. So again, it's about relaxing. And then the next example is to cut back on. So this means to use less of something or reduce your reliance on something. So the first example, if we can cut back on our use of paper, we can reduce deforestation. So we need to use less paper. And the next example, we need to cut back on electricity. It's good for the environment. So it's good for the environment if we use less electricity. And the last example, he has cut back on the number of cigarettes he smokes each day. So he is smoking less. The next phrasal verb is to cut down. So this is to make something fall to the ground, a tree or maybe even a person. The first example, I cut down 4 trees last week. So I used a machine or something to take 4 trees and make them fall to the ground. The second example, the defender made a tackle and cut down the attacker. The attacker was injured and had to stop playing. So here, this is something quite violent. If you cut down a person, it means maybe you physically attack them and you make them fall to the ground. And the third example, the car cut down the pedestrian as he crossed the road. He had to go to hospital. So again, it's the idea of making the car hits someone and makes them fall to the ground. And then the last example for today, to cut down on, means the same or very similar to cut back that we saw earlier. And this is to reduce something in number or in size. So the first example, they have cut down on how many calories they eat. They are losing a lot of weight. So this means they are reducing how much they eat, how many calories they eat. The second example, he has cut down on his smoking. So we saw this example before with cut back. It means to reduce how much you're smoking. And then the third example, we will have to cut down on how much we are spending on consultants. We need to reduce what we are spending on consultants. Here we are again at the Van Gogh Cafe, and now I'm going to show you how you can use these phrasal verbs in a situation like here at the cafe with people and things around me, and I'll show you how you can use the phrasal verbs from before in your world, in a real situation. The idea is that you go outside, you sit in a cafe or one of your favourite places, and you try to think of ways to say these phrasal verbs and say them in your world, and feel what it's like to be a native English speaker. Feel what it's like to use these phrasal verbs in your world, about your life. The first phrasal verb we looked at was call around. I could say I'm going to use the time having my coffee in this cafe to call around my friends and see if anybody has a computer I can use. So the meaning here, I'm going to telephone lots of my friends to see if anybody can give me a computer for a week. Back, I could use a similar example. I'm going to sit here in the cafe and call back my mum because she called me earlier and I couldn't speak to her. So I'm going to telephone my mother because earlier in the day she called and it wasn't a good time for me, so I will call her back in the cafe. Calm down. So we normally think about this phrase with people, to be relaxed, to be calm, but I can also use it for the horse. So I could say it's a very good idea for the man working with the horse to calm down the horse before someone gets in the carriage. So it's a good idea the horse is relaxed and easy and calm. So he can calm down the horse. Maybe he can talk to the horse or make it feel easy. And then the next phrasal verb is cut back on. So this means to reduce, decrease something, stop doing something as much as you did before. So I could say, for example, here in the cafe, I can talk about coffee. I drink too much coffee. I need to cut back on how much coffee I drink. I need to cut back on coffee. So obviously here the meaning is I drink too much coffee. I need to drink less, not as much as before. And cut down is almost exactly the same meaning. So I need to cut down on how much coffee I'm drinking, or I need to cut down on coffee. Or I could say I need to cut down on how many cakes I'm eating. Every time I come here I have a croissant or a pain au chocolat, and I need to stop doing that every time. I need to do it less. And cut down on is exactly the same. So I need to cut down on cakes, I need to cut down on coffee, I need to cut down on fatty food. And again here that means I need to reduce, I need to decrease how much fatty food I'm eating. So that's all the phrasal verbs for today. I hope you have time to go outside and see if you can find ways to use these phrasal verbs in your world. Good luck, and I'll see you next time. Here we are, just another typical English summer day. Just before I go, it's just me doing everything here at Blue Ocean English. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more, please don't forget to leave a comment. Maybe you have an idea for a video or a nice background picture that you'd like to see, or share this video with a friend. The best way for you to say thank you is to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and check out my merchandise, all the nice things you can buy, t-shirts, hats. You can also check out our great books on Amazon. There's 3 phrasal verb books, An Ocean of English Phrasal Verbs, each book with 200 examples, a lovely picture, and 3 clear examples of how we use each phrase. And then 3 books for idioms, they're called An Ocean of English Idioms. Also 3 books with 600 idioms, 200 in each book, all with a picture and 3 clear examples of how we use each idiom. Thank you very much for watching, and wherever you are, try to feel English today.